Hello again everyone. Well, today I'm not going to carry on with showing you any of these little practice riffs that we've been doing, and we're not going to carry on with the next stage of our note learning. We'll leave that till next time. I want to get you to start playing songs and practicing those chord changes, those chord shapes, and also eventually the strumming patterns, but in the context of songs that you want to play. And that's why we wanted to play guitar in the first place, because we want to play songs. So it's much more motivating and encouraging, and it's the same finger skills as playing exercises, but we're playing them in the context of a song. Now, we have a problem teaching online with song selection. When I'm teaching one-to-one, we don't have this problem because the pupils know what songs they like, what style of music they like, and everyone's different. So it's going to be impossible to pick a whole series of songs that suit everyone. So what I'm going to do is just take one particular song and show you how to find it, how to work it out, how to approach it and make it playable for you. And then I'm going to leave it to you to find your own songs. Now, there are countless songs on YouTube. Just about any song you want to learn, there'll be a tutorial for somewhere. And if anyone has any questions or any particular problems with a particular song, then please message me and I'll try and help you out individually. But it's rather pointless in me just doing a catalogue of hundreds and thousands of songs, hoping that there's something there that you like. So I hope you understand that. But I'll show you very thoroughly how to do it all for yourself, even at this early stage when you don't know any music theory. It's perfectly possible, as you'll see. Just hang in there, you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay, so the first thing you need to do when you've decided on what song it is you're wanting to learn is to listen to it a lot. Go on YouTube, put the CD on, whatever, get really familiar with the song, listen to it many times, sing along with it and try and get the feel of it and try and get the melody for it. It may not be as you remember it. It's surprising. Our memory of songs is quite often inaccurate. Now, hopefully you've chosen a lyric version of the song, and what you need to do is get an old-fashioned pen and an old-fashioned piece of paper and write out the words longhand. Don't download them. This really somehow helps you to get into the song, that's all I can say. And once you've done that, it's time to get online and find a website. I would recommend going to ultimateguitar.com. If you Google it, it'll come up with a page like this. I would bookmark it because you probably want to use it a lot. Now, this is a site that's very much like YouTube, where anyone can post a video. On this site, anyone can post what they believe are the words and the chords and the tab. When we've looked at tab for any particular song, and there are millions of them on this site. Now, when you get there, there'll be a page like this, and you want to type in the title of the song in the little box at the top of the screen, and that will take you to a page where there are probably dozens of versions of the particular song, and they're all slightly different. You might want to look through them all, compare one with another. But they also have star ratings. These are just rated by users of the site, and they also show you how many people have used that version of the song. So in this case, we'll just take the very first version. We can see it's got 5-star rating and 5,500 people have used the chords that this person has suggested. So we'll just take that, and if we click on that, it'll take us to a page like this. You see this tab at the top. The words are written out and the chords are written above the words where the chord change occurs. Now, this is a good way to write out a song. Of course, we need to know the melody and everything else. It's just the words and the chord changes. But it's called a guitar chart, and this is the way we're going to write songs. Unfortunately, there's a problem with this chart. It's in a key that we can't play in at the moment. And the other problem with songs normally is that they're in a key that's too high to sing. So it's either too difficult to play or it's too high to sing. We're not professional singers. So what we need to do is we need to change it into a key that's easy to play in and that suits our voice. So how do we do that? Well, the proper musical term for it is transposing, putting something in a different key. But you don't know how to do that. We don't know music theory yet. You will do eventually, but at the moment, what we're going to do is rely on good old Ultimate Guitar's little tool here at the bottom. It says transpose if you can look down at the bottom of the screen, and there's plus and minus. And what that means is that if you click on that plus or the minus, one mouse click at a time, then the program will automatically step up and down by one semitone, one fret, one note at a time. So here I go and clicking on this, we're going D, D sharp, it says E, F, F sharp, G, and so on. Now, if you look at the chord at the beginning of the song, so when the night has come, it normally will start in the chord that the key that the song's in. So we want to keep going. Now we've got to C. Okay, so it starts with C when the night is coming. If you look at the end of the verse, it ends with C. So this is quite likely to be in the key of C. Now that's the key that we can play in, and you can see that the chords are C, A minor, F, and G7. All of those chords that we've done in the key of C, and in fact the chord sequence is the same all the way through the song. So I've written it out longhand, but now I've typed it out on my computer and I've typed in the chords where the changes come. But I've tried to simplify the song for my first run through. So I've written when the night, say, has come, say, well, there's no need to change chords there. It's the same chord, but it's a bar. It's a bar of music. It's when the night 2, 3, 4 has come 2, 3, 4. A minor and the land 2, 3, 4 is dark 2, 3, 4, and the moon 2, 3, 4 is the only 2, 3, 4, like we'll see. So I'm writing it out in bars. Now I've written the actual chord changes in a bolder type, and where we're just continuing with another bar of the same chord, I put it in a lighter type. There are certain other simplifications as well. For example, at the end of the second line where it says the only light we'll see, it shows stay in the key of C for simplicity, but in a more full version you would perhaps want to play a passing chord there. A G or a G7th chord would be good to take you into the next line. So we've simplified there. And perhaps the biggest simplification is we are using all G7 chords because officially that's the only chord we know. Actually, we should be playing a G chord. If you know a G chord, then by all means play it. If you don't, then we're going to look at the key of G next, so you will know a G chord. But what the song should look like in its full version is this that you see here. So we do use a G7 chord at the end of the lines as a passing chord, but otherwise we're playing G and not G7. However, you're perfectly fine to use G7 for the time being to practice the song. It perhaps won't sound quite correct, but it'll still work. So use that until you know the G chord. Yeah, and we should just say, if you don't know these chords, if you haven't been following the course lesson by lesson, which is really the way you need to do it, then lesson 6 shows you all the 6 chords in the key of C. So check that out first. And lesson 8 will show you how to change quickly between them and how to practice those changes. So again, if you haven't seen that, do check it out. Okay, so what does that look like in practice? Well, we've got the song written down. Hopefully you've managed to copy that or take a screenshot of it yourself. We're looking at the simplified version here, and we want to take our right hand out of the equation and just learn where the chord changes are and how the song moves. So we've got to play when the night has come, just a plain downstroke. Then it changes to A minor, and the land is dark. 2 bars of each, and then there's an F chord, and the moon, the G7 chord, is the only light we'll see. And then there's another C we're not singing. It's a waiting chord. I won't be afraid. No, I won't be afraid. An F chord just as long as you stand, G7. Stand by me. Now, quick change here, and darling, darling. We're back to G7, and then we're back to the same chord sequence again. Stand by me is 2 bars of C, 2 bars of A minor, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 1 bar of F. Sorry, I'm playing F over C. 1 bar of F, 1 bar of G7, and 1 bar of C. Okay, now once we feel that we know where the chords are going to change, and the sequence is the same all the way through the song. So 2 C's, 2 A minors, 1 F and a G7. So we're going to try and add a little bit of right hand action into things now, but we're not going to go for a full strumming pattern. Now I'm referring back here to lesson 10. If you haven't seen lesson 10, I would highly recommend going back and checking that out, or this won't make a lot of sense. But you don't have to watch the whole lesson. It's the same with all the lessons. If you look at the description underneath the video and you click on more, then the timings will appear for all the various sections of the videos, and you can just go to the bit that you want. Now in that lesson we played 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 beats in the bar, if you like. And then we played 8 beats in the bar by playing and 2 and 3 and 4 and then we played 16 beats in the bar by catching the strings on the way back, and we said 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. Now we can use that in those 3 patterns, the 1, 2, the 1 and 2 and the 1 E and a 2 E and a, just as we feel it. So if we look at the second 2 lines of the verse, I won't be afraid. Like doing the 8 beat as I change the chord to the F. Now I'm playing all the way up. Darling, darling, stand by me. So I'm just picking and mixing from those 3 patterns just as I feel like it. And if you sing along with that, it'll sound fine. Okay, one final bit of advice before we go and look at the kind of full version of the song. And that is, you're probably finding some difficulty in changing chords quickly enough, unless you've been very diligent about practicing those chord changes with your eyes closed. But don't worry, you'll catch up, the speed will come. But in the meantime, the most important thing is to keep the 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and whatever you're doing with your right hand going all the time, whether you're changing chords or not. So when you lift your hand off the strings to go to the next chord, of course you don't want to lift them off that far, but just to show you, you can just keep playing and you can play the strings open. Now you might think, well, that sounds terrible, but actually it's, I suppose you could call it a G6 chord, and it is something that people do. So it can add something to the song. You can, so let's, just to demonstrate, just lifting my fingers off a long way further than you would. So I'm still keep playing, that's the important thing. Keep the rhythm going. We don't want to be playing 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. That's not forgivable. But if you keep playing open, keep playing the strings even though you're actually not holding down the chord, the song will still work. Okay, well let's move on to the full version, as it were, without all the simplifications. So this time we're going to need a G chord. Now, as I said before, if you don't know a G chord yet, that's fine, just play G7, but we'll be doing the key of G next, so you will know that chord. Also, we're going to use a couple of proper strumming patterns. Now, really, strumming pattern 2, this is lesson 12. If you haven't seen it, you can go back there and find strumming pattern 2. And strumming pattern 2 is basically down, down, up, up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, up. So we will use that, well, I use it anyway. You can use it all the way through the song, that's perfectly fine. I add another layer of complication to things by playing, again, it's in lesson 12, I think, towards the end of the lesson, what I called a calypso slap, I think, at the time. So I play up, down, up, and then kind of stop the strings. So I tend to use that in the verse, which keeps it a little bit tight. And then when I go into the chorus, I tend to just use the down, down, up, down. You can use any pattern you like, really, but those are the two that I tend to use. And also, I should say that, we've changed this into the key of C. Well, that might not necessarily suit everybody's voice. It might be too high, it might be too low. So this is where your capo comes in. We talked about this, I think, in the second lesson, the gear that you need for playing guitar. So all it does is it just raises the pitch of the instrument by one step at a time. So we play the same chords, the same chord shapes, shall we say, just treating the capo as the nut now. So this is now the first fret, second fret, third fret, and so on. And you just mess about with it until you get it where it's a bit too high. I'm going to put it down a bit. Oh, that's better. You might find it's okay open. Just mess about with the capo, put it where you need to suit your voice. So I put my capo on the second fret. I'm not sure if that's right, but I'm having an experiment. A bit of rhythm on, I think. I use my calypso slap for the verse. You don't have to be bound by it. Should tumble and fall, and the mountains should crumble to the sea. You can do what you like. Just don't be bound by the strum pattern. So all you need to do now is get yourself a drum machine, and I'm going to show you how to play a lead guitar if you've got an electric, and if you haven't, everyone needs an acoustic and an electric. Very difficult to play lead guitar and acoustic. Some things you can play, some things you can't. You can't bend strings. It's a good idea to have both. Get yourself a looper pedal, and you can record one track and record over the top of it. I'll show you how to do that as well. Cheap enough to buy a liquid pedal, and you can make up a whole song yourself with the drums, play a bit of bass guitar, play a bit of lead guitar, do some strumming, and you're a one-man band. Okay, well, I hope you've been inspired by that little glimpse of what's going to be possible. But the order of the day now is to just get yourself some simple songs, some campfire songs, some songs that you like, transpose them into the key of C for now. And we'll move on next time. We'll learn some more chords, we'll learn some more practice riffs, we'll do a little bit more note learnings, lots to do. We're still building up to things. But I think it's going to get a little bit more fun from now on. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Cheers guys, take care, bye.